Once she was just a victim, but now she is fighting back. Today we'll be looking at a woman who goes by the name Sayuri Ogawa. She can't reveal her real name, and following her last week's public appearance, she is now hounded by online abuse after abuse. Can you guess what her story is? She is one of the bravest women in Japan right now, and you're not gonna believe what she is up against. Hello world, this is Dean from Japan. If you've been watching this channel or following the Japanese news, you know that following the former Japanese Prime Minister Abe Shinzo's assassination, it became clear that he had strong ties with a cult organization called the Unification Church, or the Moonies. You can check this video for more information, but basically, the Moonies are a Korean religious cult organization which has a strong anti-Japanese agenda, where they only pressure Japanese followers to donate excessive amount of money. The Moonies has strong ties with the Japanese government, and this is just a few examples of politicians that are found to be connected with the church. And the list goes on. Many journalists and former followers claim that the cult organization was therefore protected by the government, and that victims of the church couldn't do anything. Sayuri was born to the parents of church followers, and although she was also a former follower of the church, she left the church 6 years ago following a psychological breakdown. Having endured much hardship because of the church, she is now a really vocal opponent of the church and appears in various news shows to share her experience. While most of the other children of followers make sure their faces stay hidden when they appear in such shows, she is no longer hiding her face and is fighting back publicly. The church, meanwhile, held 5 different press conferences since July. They sure love their press conferences, and I kinda lost track of them. The church might be Korean in origin, but the presentation style is super Japanese with the board and everything. Because the church relies on the money coming from Japan, you can understand that now that the Japanese public is against them and trying to get them shut down, they are fearful of the money drying up. During these press conferences, the church denied any responsibilities or wrongdoings.
霊感商法と称される類のものは当法人の信徒において行われていませんし
In one of the press conferences, they even apologized to the politicians for causing trouble, but not to the victims. This must have been a huge insult to Sayuri.
ご両親はその当時も100万円する善霊堂と言われているものを買っていましたし、それがあれば先祖が家に住むことができる。やっている行いを認めて謝罪してくれるのかなと少し期待はあったんですが、全くそういうものではなかったように感じました。
On October 7th, she decided to hold press conference at the Foreign Correspondents Club of Japan to explain her side of things. She first describes the hardship she had to endure. She will first speak in Japanese, which is then followed by an English translation.
両親は多額の献金を繰り返し、生活はとても苦しく、私は幼少期から学生時代にかけて、見た目の貧しさから長期にわたっていじめを受けてきました。
My parents made prodigious donations. We were impoverished from early childhood to my years as a student. Because of my impoverished appearance, I was subject to bullying for a long time.
それでも両親の信じた教会を信じたかった私は祝福結婚を受けるための修練会に参加しますが、そこでは公職者からセクハラを受けました。
I still wanted to believe in my parents. I still wanted to believe in the church that my parents believed so much. So in order to attend eventually the mass wedding, I joined a retreat where I was subject to sexual harassment by the church officials.
So you can already see how difficult her upbringing was because of the church. While she was taking questions from the reporters, a fax message arrives at the press conference. The content is shocking, so another person has to explain the gist of the message.
今、旧統一教会の方からメッセージが届きました。
This is a message from the Unification Church.
ここには彼女の両親の署名が入っています。
With her parents' signature.
内容を要約すると、
Summary of it is as follows.
彼女が、言っているように、精神に、異常をきたしており、
Our daughter has psychiatric issues, as noted.
安倍元首相の、銃撃事件以降、その症状がひどくなってしまっていて、
Her symptoms have worsened ever since the assassination of former PM Abe.
多くの嘘を、言ってしまうようになっています。
She has a tendency to lie.
そのため、この会見を、すぐに中止するようにというメッセージが届きました。
The gist of the message is that this press conference should be suspended immediately.
I think it's not necessary to give more details, but if they decide the press conference continue, of course the FCCG will decide the press conference continue. So,
Oh man, you could see that she's already fighting back tears, but so the church sent a message signed by her parents saying that she is insane. The church made her own parents sign and approve this message. Her own parents speaking out against her. Can you imagine how hurtful that is? This just seems like a really bad case of brainwashing. Sayuri, fighting back her tears, first answers a reporter's question. But now she is ready to fight back against the church that made her life a living hell.
ちょっと喋らせてください。
If I may speak.
今教会からそういった文書が来たと聞いたんですが、
A message just came through from the church.
まずそもそも両親は私にお金を必ず返すから貸してと言って200万円近く給料を取ってきました。
My parents took away my salary, 2 million yen in total, promising that they will give it back.
そしてそのお金は張本人からは1円も返ってきていません。
Not a cent, not a yen has come back, has been returned to me.
そういったことも積み重なって私は精神を病みました。
All that caused me to suffer a nervous psychiatric breakdown.
断定はされていませんが、解離性同一性障害、自分の人格がおかしくなってしまう、そういう病気でした。私がなったのはそういった病気でした。
My illness was not definitively diagnosed, but it's recognized as dissociative disorder.
またその他にパニック障害だったり、
And panic disorder as well.
確かにそういったことは、そういった病気を負った人は冷静な判断を取れないと取られてしまうかもしれません。
It may be that people who suffer from such disorders may be determined to be unreliable, not being able to make decisions.
しかし私は18歳でその病気になって、
I became ill when I suffered that disorder when I was 18.
今日まで治療を続けてきました。
Continued with my treatment ever since.
何度も救急車で運ばれたり、
I was taken away by an ambulance multiple times,
入院ももう一度しました。
hospitalized as well.
両親も見に来ました。両親も面
My
会に来ました。
parents did come to visit me.
その時もお金を1円も出してくれませんでした。
Did not pay a cent for any of that.
そして夫と出会って4年間ずっと私を支えてくれました。
I met my husband and he has been supporting me for 4 years.
きっと普通の人ならこんな自分とは結婚したいと思わないと思います。
There's no one else who will probably marry someone like me.
それでもどんなに症状が出たりしても私を見捨てずに信じてくれました。
Even with the emergence of symptoms, my husband has never abandoned me and continued to believe in me.
お金を返しもしないで自分たちが正しいという自分たちの主張だけを続けている人たちと、自分とどちらが悪なのか、これを見てくださっている多くの方は分かってくれていると私は信じています。
I want the viewers to judge for themselves who's the more evil here. Parents who won't even return my money, and parents, people who believe that they're the only ones who are right.
私が正しいと思ってくださるなら、どうかこの団体を解散させてください。
If you believe in me, if you truly believe in me, please make sure that this organization is dissolved.
以上です。
That's all for now.
I think the term brave gets overused these days, but I think the term is meant for people like her. I just can't believe how brave she is. She is willing to go through the fire, to share her story, to make sure that things like this, things that happen to her, won't ever happen again. Any child in this world will wish that their parents would be there for them, that their parents will support them. However, the church made even her parents turn against her. Having to deal with such a betrayal in public, but still going on with her message, is the definition of bravery. The Japanese public just couldn't believe that the Unification Church would send a message like that during a press conference. What were they thinking? Not a single sane person would think that a move like that would make the church look any good. In my opinion, I think they are so used to having politicians do their biddings and brainwash church followers simply obeying their orders that they thought they could just order the press conference to finish. They are really out of touch with reality. This move completely backfired and showed how insane and dangerous this organization was in real time. This was a very powerful and inspirational press conference. It shows that even if you're a victim once, you don't always have to be a victim. You can say no and get your power back. During the press conference, she does explain that because she had been brainwashed for 20 years, there are still times that she has to fight back the remnants of brainwashing she received. But she is now happily married and wants to create a better future for her, her family, and the next generation.
ありがとうございました。
Thank you very much for your attention.